So if you want to check the method of the function, or if you want to check the kind of function by using graphical method, we need to keep some points in mind. So first point is, use this method if f of x graph is known to you. That means if you are so perfect in graphs, then only use this method. Once if you feel that you are perfect in this one, if function is defined as f maps from A to B, then draw the graph by keeping this A in mind. That means for this function, this A is the domain. So from where to draw, this will decide, not by using the original domain. So by keeping this point, you draw. That's what. Then draw the graph with reference to A. So now after drawing the graph, check. So here I mentioned that check means we need to check the graph. If a line parallel to x-axis cuts the graph at how many points? So we need to check that one, at how many points it cuts the graph. It cuts exactly at one point like this type. So then the function is said to be 1 to 1. If it cuts at more than one point, then the function is said to be many to 1. Sometimes we may get a graphical structure like this type. So here at this point, if we draw a line, it cuts at only one point. So please don't decide it as a 1 to 1. Above, if you observe, see, it cuts at more than one point. So it will be finalized, not this one. So the function is considered as many to 1. Now with the help of this graphical test, we can decide whether the function is 1 to 1 and many to 1. Now the question is how to check whether the function is onto or into. Onto or into in any method is decided with the help of the range of the function. If the range is subset of codomain, then it is into. If range is exactly equals to codomain, then the function is onto. We know how to find the range of different functions. Graphically also we know how to find the range of the function. Once the graph is done, we will check along y-axis. Along y-axis, whatever values exist, that will be considered as the range, and we will compare that range with codomain. If graphically not possible, also we have so many methods to find the range. By using that method, you just find the range and compare with the codomain. Function f maps from closed interval 0 comma pi to minus 1 comma 1 such that f of x equals to sin x. So check the kind of the function, whether it is 1 1 many to 1 or into and onto. Which one we need to check? See. Now students, f of x equals to sin x is a very familiar graph. Now we will start drawing the graph. As I mentioned, before starting the graph, look at the domain in the question. The question they are telling that just draw the graph or take the domain in between 0 and pi. Then we will start. So just they want up to here only, in between 0 and pi. In between 0 and pi, so this peak we know that it is 1 only. So now students, here if we draw a line parallel to x-axis, it cuts the graph at more than one point. Then straight away we can declare the function is many to 1. So m to 1 simply many to 1 function. Now we will come to the range part. So range of the function is graph how much it spreads along y-axis. From 0 to it went up to 1. So the range of the function in this situation is 0 to 1, which is not equals to codomain. Which is not equals to codomain when the function is what? Into. So that means in this interval, so sin x is many to 1 and into. Next question. F is defined from minus pi by 2 comma pi by 2 to minus 1 comma 1 such that f of x equals to, I will take sin x only. This is one cycle actually in between minus pi and pi. So now the question is they are asking up to pi by 2. to minus pi by 2. That means the remaining portion we don't want. So we don't want this portion. That's it. We want in between minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. Now if you draw horizontal lines at any point, it cuts the graph at only one point, so we can declare it as 1 to 1 straight away. Next, the range, if you observe here, this value is 1 and this value is minus 1. So range of the function equals to minus 1 comma 1. It is same as codomain, therefore the function is onto. If it is both 1 1 and onto, then it is bisective. Next question. A function is defined from R to R, real numbers to real numbers, such that f of x equals to x plus mod x. So now students, to solve this question, see, f of x is defined from real numbers to real numbers such that x plus mod x. We know the status of mod x. Mod x is x when x is greater than or equals to 0, and mod x equals to minus x when x is less than 0. That's why we will write it in two formats. So one is x plus something, another one is x plus. So that is, when x is greater than or equals to 0, it is x only, and when x is less than 0, it is minus x. So that means your function, that is f of x, we have taken. F of x equals to x plus x means what will get 2x when x is greater than or equals to 0, and x minus x is what, 0 when x is less than 0. Now this is the function. So now graph of this is nothing but graph of this one. Now we changed the function because modulus of x definition changes for positive values and negative values. Now we will come back here. We will take origin here. So now we need to check two situations here. The first situation is x greater than 0 and second is x less than 0. X greater than 0, it is 2x. When x is more than 0 means in this direction, f of x means y equals to 2x. Students, we know that y equals to 2x is a line passing through origin. So because basic structure is this one, y equals to mx is always a straight line which passes through the origin, and y equals to x is the most standard line we will take. Y equals to x is the line which always passes through origin, which makes an angle 45 degrees with x axis and 45 degrees with y axis. Now y equals to 2x we want here. So y equals to 2x means when if we have, for suppose here I will draw separately, see, if this is the position of y equals to x, if this is the position of y equals to x means y equals to 2x inclined over towards x axis or inclined towards y axis. Can anyone tell?
Inclined towards y axis, sir.
Inclined towards y axis. It is inclined towards y axis. It is inclined towards y axis because here slope is 1 and here slope is 2. So slope is increasing means tan theta is increasing. Tan theta increases and reaches up to infinity always. That means here somewhere we will get. That means similar, here not required angles and all those things, for understanding purpose I am explaining. So here somewhere we will get a line. So this is your line y equals to 2x. Okay. So here we will keep a dot here, we are including 0 also. Now when x is less than 0, when x is less than 0, it is 0 means this negative x axis completely will dark. So this is your graph, a double sided. Okay, so this is your graph. It is very clear that it is many one because this line completely, see, so this line completely covering so many points. It is covering so many points, that's why clearly the function is many to one. Next we will check range of the function. So the range of the function is here on the y axis. If you observe, the minimum value is 0 and maximum value is infinity. That means it is going from 0 to infinity. It is not equals to codomain because codomain is given as r. So that means the function is what? Into. So it is many to one and into. So after that immediately you try this one. The function is defined from real number to x minus mod x. those who are having problem, just look at this function is again can be defined in two ways, x minus two cases. X is greater than or equals to 0 and x is less than 0. When x is greater than 0, we'll take x here, and when x is less than 0, we'll take minus x. That means what? We'll get 0 when x is greater than or equals to 0, 2x when x is less than 0. So based upon this, if we try to draw the graph, when x is less than 0, it is 2x, so the remaining portion of this line downwards. And next here, the momentum will be like this type, 0. So now here clearly it is many to one function because of this line. So it is many to one function. Now range of the function, if we observe, that is minus infinity comma 0, because this line is extending up to infinity. So minus infinity to the max value is what? 0, which is clearly not equals to codomain. Therefore the function is into.